All right, Dylan, welcome to the last dispensation. You're living in it. How have you been?
Uh, it's been good to me so far, man. I've been doing actually pretty good lately. My wife is getting ready to have our first child together, so any moment now. So
Any moment. Is she?
she's doing the 4th of September, but she's literally like a grenade. So ready to go.
Right. I know. I saw her yesterday at church. What's that shirt you're wearing?
Oh, I am.
Oh, Lambda. That was from Police Academy, right? Or Revenge of the Nerds?
Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. So, Dylan, let's start with when did you join the church?
About
Or you know what? Let's go back to, so there's something special about Dylan, brothers and sisters, and that is that you were a cage fighter.
yeah. Yeah, it was. That's one part of my life. I fought professionally for about on and off for about 18 years. I don't know. Let me see. Here's a little. Where's the camera on this thing?
Right there. Oh my goodness. That is awesome, dude.
Well, that's that's what it was like to step into the cage with me at one point. I'm a little more mild-mannered now. Uh,
So when
yeah,
did you No,
I
go ahead.
started. I started boxing when I was about 8 years old. I was a real heavy kid, and I was a real aggressive kid. And my dad thought it'd be something good for me to get myself into a little bit more structure. And I took boxing pretty seriously, and I went from that into high school. I transitioned to judo, and you know, cage fighting was something I never thought I would do, but I had a lot of friends who were very interested in it. And I, being the one who boxed, started training a few of them as their boxing coach, and that led to me taking a few fights, and then I kind of fell in love with it. So
You know, it's interesting because not everybody, okay, not every man, let alone women and men. I'm not trying to distinguish between the two, but not every man is suitable for fighting, and not everyone has that kind of courage. I mean, you have to have courage like Moroni and and all of these men that fought in the Book of Mormon in the scriptures. I'm afraid. I can't lie, dude. I'm afraid to go up to somebody and get in a fight. I think I've been in 2 fights in my whole life.
it's scary. Fighting is so scary. You know, to me at first it was something that I felt like it was fun because I was a little kid, so I was having fun at it, and I was good at it fairly quickly. And I think as a kid, if you're good at something pretty quickly, you instantly are like taken to it, you know. As a grown up, I was financially driven. I hated competing. I I was a nervous wreck. I would have like irritable stomach for a week up to it. I always had to cut a lot of weight. Um, so losing the weight for the fights and everything else in preparation, and then the money's not that good.
Right.
Really not that good. But the one thing I
Now,
always had, even prior to being a member of the church, was I had a belief in Christ, and I had that ability to really, really just focus on what a small thing I was doing. I'm like, this is nothing. You know, go out there and make a little sacrifice for my family, make a stand against
right.
else.
Well, so it's normal. It's common to be nervous and to have somewhat of a fear. Or did you feel pressured by your family because your family was also in the same uh they were also what do you call them? Cage fighters, or
Yeah.
not
Well,
cage fighting, ultimate fighting, or
well, my I'm the only one to actually compete professionally
uh-huh.
in my family, and but definitely come from a family of real tough guys. So I felt a little bit of pressure when I was a little kid to be the best I could be at it. I didn't want to go in there and get my butt kicked, that's for sure, and look bad.
Right.
Uh, but as I got older, honestly, um, my family kind of accepted it as just this is a part of who Dylan is. Dylan competes. I also, there's a lot of little pieces to me. I've always had an interest in music, and I always had an interest in art and nature and things. And it's like, I think it was just people always took it as another piece of the puzzle of who I was. And I honestly never felt it was more hard for me to get people to come see my fights. They'd be like, "Oh, you're fighting again this week? I hope you win." So
Yeah.
it was more that people just kind of started to accept the fact that this is what he does and this is who he is. So
Right. So when when exactly did you I don't know if we should segue yet. Was there a time that okay, when did you join the church?
so about 4.5 4 years ago or so, um, I met my wife, and I met her at Spring Fair at the Fresno Spring Fair, and we were
Mhm.
both working as vendors um, for a friend of ours who had a karaoke company, and he had set up a karaoke booth and these big things called knocker balls, and they're these big inflatable balls. You get inside of them and you run around and bounce around in them. Excuse me. But we were working at the booth. I was kind of in charge of the situation. She was late by about 3 hours. She showed up and she was not
3 hours and
not
you
the
waited for her.
yeah
That's awesome.
not the woman you know now. Not the woman you know now. She had an addiction problem at that point in time. She had shaved off all of her hair, and
Oh wow.
she was quite a spectacle. But her and I, after working together for a few days, I really enjoyed her company, and I thought she was a really sweet girl and everything. And we did exchange phone numbers and stuff, and start dating. And upon dating, I found out that she was a Latter-day Saint, and I had been studying religion pretty much my whole life. I had been a Catholic most of my life, and I was really, really. I thought I thought I knew a little bit more than I did know, and I was really resistant to the fact of the Book of Mormon being what it is,
Right.
what it is to me, and I know the Book of Mormon is true, and I have I have a true testimony of that now, but at that time, my wife and I, about 4 years ago, were having a very spirited conversation. I don't want to say argument yet because it was probably our first argument. And I said some harsh things about uh, Joseph
At
Smith,
the church, right?
or about Joseph Smith in general, and it was uneducated and just kind of off the cuff. So, and she started to cry, and she left, and I came in my house and I sat on my bed and I instantly picked up the Book of Mormon, which she had given me months before, and I began reading. And I'm a quick study and a pretty fast reader, and I got pretty far into it, and I put it down, and I had prayed a million times before my life, but I put it down and I prayed to know, pure and simple, is this true? And it wasn't like a bucket of water dumped over me. It wasn't like nobody pushed me over and was like nobody smacked me. I just had a very comforted feeling that yes, this is true. This is real. This is continued gospel of Christ. And I continued reading later on that night after I showered. I didn't call her and tell her about it. I read until I had finished the book and gave it about a week or so of pondering, and we had texted back and forth, and I had apologized for my ignorance and things, but I hadn't told her I had read it. I hadn't told her that I had a belief that it was true. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold this thing
No,
steady.
you're fine.
But she came home down to my house, and I told her I was really sorry. I just wanted to tell her in person I was really sorry for the comments I had made. And I told her I was ignorant, and I apologized sincerely. And she told me that the reason she had cried was because she knows and has a very pure testament of the gospel and of the Book of Mormon being true. And that's why she had felt that way and reacted that way. And I told her that day that I understand it, and so do I. And
Wow.
I was confused by that. And then I told her that I had read it and that I believed it to be true, and that I wanted to start investigating with sister missionaries as soon as possible. And after that, baptism was my only goal, because I had set level goals for myself to be baptized, to gain the Aaronic priesthood, to move forward and gain the Melchizedek priesthood, and to be sealed in the temple with my wife. I think it's a deserved thing. It's something that we deserve. I've been blessed to be able to, since I've been a member of the church, be able to teach Sunday school. It helps me to gain understanding at a simpler level, preparing for the lessons for the kids. So, but yeah, it's been an amazing thing for me, and I feel super blessed.
It's obvious. I could see it in you. You were friends with my brother. Just let the audience know. For many years, and I remember when we were going through that your conversion process, when you were getting ready to be baptized. It's interesting. And as you bear your testimony, I know that you felt the Spirit, because I feel the Spirit when you're talking about it. And I've heard a lot of stories, similar accounts, people's testimonies that are very similar to yours. That's kind of how my wife joined the church. She gained a testimony from reading the Book of Mormon. And my brother as well. I think he's told you his story, right?
Yep.
Where he was sitting in the backyard reading the Book of Mormon. And that's kind of how you could tell when somebody has a testimony, because it follows certain patterns. There's certain tenets about what they're saying that make sense and that correlate together. And that's amazing, man. And I could see it means a lot to you. I really see that in you.
It's been everything to me. I'm at the point with, my little daughter on the way, and being able to have like you and other brethren stand up there when I give her a blessing, it's gonna feel like full circle,
Right.
So, yeah.
Dillan, Thank you so much, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Um, honestly, I see some cool art in your background
Oh,
there. I have I have like I know I told you I paint a lot. I use the alcohol ink, so
oh yeah.
I have a couple pieces right here that I
Wow.
see if I can hold it without the reflection.
That is some good work, man. I like, I've never messed with that alcohol ink. I want to get into it. I
Yeah,
like mixed media. That is beautiful.
we'll have to set up a day where we could do it.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. I like the violet
Yeah,
pattern that kind of flows through that.
yeah. The way it works is you basically set it down and blend your colors together and light it on fire and let the fire do the work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dabble a little bit. I think I'm my own worst critic.
Oh God, because everything I've seen I love. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Dylan, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
This is going to I like simple, sweet truths of the gospel. I like testimonies like this. And I think this is something I feel like Heavenly Father wants people to know more and more how true the gospel is, and that there are people in the church that really do have testimonies of Jesus Christ and of the Book of Mormon. And you're one of them, and I'm one of them. Your wife's one of them. My wife's one of them. My brother Tim, and many, many others, right?
Many others.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks, Dylan.
Thank you, man. You're a
All right.
blessing.
You take care.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right. You too.
Take it easy.